Hi guys, my name is Alexander Kay and this is my presentation on sports development action for my talk about my placement. So an introduction, so for sports development, one of my modules at university, we were asked to do a placement to do 30 hours to kind of get into the role, to get the gist of what a sports development officer does and what the roles may lie within it. So this gives us the opportunity to, like say, we could come up with an idea and then present it to someone like an organisation, or we work within an organisation and they give us a scheme, then we can go and do it and like help out and see what happens really. So it could maybe, like as I was saying about making up a plan, it turns like an A4 piece of paper into a reality really. So for my scheme, we're talking about refugees and asylum seekers within Preston. What's good about it is it links to my favourite topic of sport, which is football, because I'm currently coaching football at the moment. So why refugees and asylum seekers? So basically, I'm going to talk about them without a presentation, but just a brief overview about them now. A lot of people will say refugees and asylum seekers. Not really a lot of people give them a lot of attention, but for this opportunity, this scheme that I'm working with, it's going to get them to do some exercise. They get prejudiced a lot, they get discriminated a lot, so this scheme within the organisation that I'm looking at is going to help them become more integrated with society, and it will make them feel part of a country that they've probably never been to in their lives, and probably living thousands of miles away. So yeah. So an overview of Get Into. So what is Get Into and how is it created? Well, it's an organisation that was created within the SU, which is the student union of our UCLan University. It's mostly run by hard-working ex-students and also in addition current students that promote and create events and schemes and fundraisers that will hopefully benefit students and people like say who are struggling at university and are less fortunate. So what they get into, what do they provide? Well, they provide a number of things over a wide variety of sports for people that participate in, say, sports such as football, but also it also benefits people that are a bit nervous. They've always liked a sport, but they've never really been generally gifted in it. So it puts in a lot of variety for people. So, for example, on Wednesdays, I participate in a weekly SU football league. I play for a team called Zola Express, fantastic team. You can watch it sometime. But also, it could go from the opposite end of the spectrum. It could also look at, say, dodgeball as weekly dodgeball tournaments, which I think it's really beneficial because it's not really a mainstream sport, so it gives people a chance to maybe discover a new hobby or a new talent, so they may want to play for the university. And also, staying on sport, the Sir Tumford Sports Centre, they also provide activities, gym sessions, and it's also a free gym membership that you don't have to pay unless you are a UCLan student, which is very beneficial instead of paying a monthly membership, which could go up to like be a very extortionate, go up to like say £30 or so. So touching on that even more, they have classes such as yoga, boxercise, they have army training camps, they have Pilates, which you can, as you can see, it has a really wide variety and kind of brings a lot of personalities, a lot of abilities together, a lot of abilities under one roof. They also have five-a-side football. I myself and my friend Jake last year, we were referee in the Mars Just Play five-a-side league, and we were five-a-side referees. So it's a really bit. It's not just provides sport, but it provides a lot of opportunities. It provides coaching jobs and also provides a lot of volunteering. So why is Get Into politics? So as I said before, the free gym membership. A lot of people at universities have a variety of loans. They come from different backgrounds, and sometimes the home life cannot be as great. So getting away from university, going to university can also be just as much a struggle. So you've got assignments. So you have deadlines, you've got to say being more social, being more active. Are you going to be making friends? Are you going to be a bit shy? Money wise, so obviously most of your accommodation might come out as rent. So do you want to find a job? So you've got work, job, and keeping your friendship circle going. So say if you've had a rough day or had a rough week, Get Into provide you the option of going to the Sir Tumford Sports Arena, or going to like the UCLan Sports Arena or whatever, and they let you go and do some exercise. It's just like an hour off, blow some steam off, and it's really beneficial because you could go and you can meet someone who's into the same things as you, and you've already made a friend there. So it helps you in a number of different outcomes, and it helps you in a variety of ways. So, but for getting to in general, they display so many positives though when it comes to providing support, in terms of pushing people to making friends, plus getting them involved within the university from a sport perspective, regardless if they aren't really enthusiastic, sport enthusiasts, and not possess, as I said, not possessing really good ability. Nevertheless, they are still welcomed and encouraged to take part within, which is in that sense is a contributing factor in building people's confidences, and that's what sport is about, and that's what the SU is all about, is making people become more confident themselves. It's kind of like a family in a it's like a second family in a way. So our scheme. So as I mentioned before in the opening introduction, I'm talking about refugees, which is part of getting into. So for the scheme that I'll be doing to record my placement hours is refugee football. There are approximately 150 refugees that are living in Preston. But why are they focusing on refugees and asylum seekers? Well, what the beauty of it is about getting into is they're not just focusing on students. Because I know students do have a rough time when it comes to finances and adapting to a new environment, but on the other hand, so do refugees. They're coming from thousands of miles away, and they're going to be in a completely different environment. So they're going to be placed in countries all over the world that aren't really familiar with our lifestyle, the speed at which how we go in day-to-day life, and also grasping the culture and the society. They're going to get used to it, and they can't really do it on their own. So they need people, students and people who are very dedicated to helping other people. They need people like that to help them out. So we can't forget, honestly, and even from a personal perspective, like even going on holiday with your family, your friends, and you want to say, if you're struggling for directions or you want to purchase some food, you might not know that language. So how are you gonna? It's just as much as them helping us out by helping to make it easier by sympathising with us. So we've got to say pay it back for them by sympathising with them and helping them out. So although it is a very rewarding scheme and it's a fantastic project, going out to play football, having fun, having exercise, there also are some limitations. Although it is a all-weather pitch, Preston is a very rainy place, so there is a lot. So waterlogged pitches it's quite inevitable that there will be a waterlogged pitches. The cost issues, I'll be going on to cost in the next slide. But yeah, brief mention about it. Refugees cannot get a job in this country. Not a lot of them can, so they're only getting a small budget per week to live off. They have to get food, water, they have to clothe themselves, they have to wash themselves. So living on a short budget, it might be hard for them to get the right equipment, to get the right football boots, get the right kit to play in a comfortable manner. As I said, kit, also space, because we're only allocated the 5-a-side pitches. So say one day we could only have 10 people, which is great, so 5-a-side. But then on other days we might be having hopefully we're hoping in the future have 30-40 refugees coming. So that might take up all our 5-a-side pitches, or even if so taking the 11-a-side pitches. So it just depends on us to get as many refugees there as possible. And also students taking notice. I'll be talking about it when I'm talking about promotion, but also there are only refugees participating at the moment, apart from myself and Jake, who are helping run it out. Other than that, there's no other UConn students taking part in it. So that's hopefully an aim that I'm going to try and promote as we go further on the presentation. So our goal. So what is our goal to help this project? So apart from doing the necessity of going there, helping to run the session, taking part, playing, refereeing it, getting the bibs, getting the footballs, and maybe even doing the odd bit of coaching sessions, we also need to talk about how we're going to promote it. So myself and Jake, we want to get more people involved. We don't just want to get UConn students, we want to get anyone who's welcome to it, anyone who wants to take an interest in it, who wants to integrate with the refugees. We want them to come down Tuesday night and we want them to come and take part in it. It's only 2 hours of your time and they would absolutely love it to bits. Also, we also want to raise awareness of the project, so we want people to understand the hardship that refugees and asylum seekers have had over a period of time. We want them to realise that it's not easy for everyone. Everyone goes through hardships. Everyone goes through struggles. Everyone goes through that, and I think anyone's alive if they don't know that they've been through a difficult patch in their life. And also to increase the participation. We don't just want refugees coming, because, as I said, sometimes only 5 or 6 may come, and we're going to have to make do with what we've got. But so we want students to come down week in, week out, we got a regular amount of people so we know them, we know the faces, we know the names, and we want to come down and enjoy themselves thoroughly. So how we promote it? So social media is one of the biggest ways to talk to people. You've got Twitter, you've got Facebook, you've got Instagram to post pictures to show how much of a good time you're having, you've got Snapchat. These are the ways that we're going to try and promote it. So it's a simple making a Facebook page, showing the pictures of the week, the pictures that we've got. As you saw in the slide before that I've got, you saw a picture of myself and Jake and the other people who were in it with the refugees, all smiling, looking like we're having the time of our lives. So that's what we're going to do, social media, making an event, saying, look guys, this week, Tuesday 5 till 7, get the bus down at 4:30 with the UCLan bus. It's a free bus, coming down and having some fun. And if you love football, if you're a football fanatic like myself, then you're going to absolutely lap it up and you're absolutely going to enjoy yourself. And also, going out, making leaflets, going to we know where the halls are, where the accommodations are. Where I live in Preston is quite a student accommodated area, so going around, there's a leaflet, or when you're going on from a lecture, I could just pass some leaflets around. It's as easy as that. Going to lectures, say my own lectures, or going to lectures that my friends are at and on their courses, delivering a presentation, asking them what they know about refugees and asylum seekers, and are they getting enough exercise and would they like to come down. The student newspaper, I know UCLan have got a student newspaper, so maybe just asking, could someone maybe doing an article myself, put it and asking could they put it in the news, or getting someone who is part of the newspaper to come down and write a piece on it. And also questionnaires, as I said like in the presentation, what do they know about refugees, and do they know an awful lot or do they not? And how much and then what would they like to do in the spare time and how free they are. So maybe instead of doing Tuesdays, could we accommodate it to doing it another day so then more people can come. So what are the benefits of doing this, and do they cater to all, and what are we catering to, and what is the purpose of promoting it? The purpose of promoting it is we want refugees to feel as comfortable as possible in our country. We want them to feel like they're English citizen. We want them to have as much fun as they can possibly. I know on the weekends that they have tournaments, they have annual tournaments and refugee tournaments. If I'm sure I'm right in saying that.
It's a monthly tournament, yeah.
A monthly tournament, yeah. So they go there, so you can imagine one of the Tuesdays it's more of a training session for them as well, to try new things, to be more expressive, to have the freedom to do some skills and to do some plays. And then the monthly tournaments they represent UCLan, they're part of the UCLan area, and they see if they can win some tournaments. Do we cater to the certain ages? No, we cater to every single age. So if we want people who say they've got a day-to-day job, they're not even UCLan, they're not even university students, if they hear about it, they want to come down and play just to get some exercise, blow some steam off, then they are more than welcome to. They want people from high school, colleges who want to get involved with volunteering, then they're more than welcome to come down. And what are the benefits it brings for it? As I say, it widens your social circle, it gets more people involved. It's like word of mouth, so people say, I had a great time at refugee football tonight. Get yourself down there, it's free of charge, there's a free bus. It's as simple as that. So talking about how it links from a national perspective and a local perspective. So Sport England, an organisation that I'm very fond of, that I'm very well known with, it's funded by the National Lottery. What's good about Sports England is it doesn't just cater to the elite level, it caters to, in terms of the sports participation spectrum, it looks at foundation participation. So basically, the base of everything, trying to get you started off, so helping people at grassroots level and to build it up. So since Great Britain won the bid for to host the 2012 Olympics, like since then, but as soon as that instantly happened, 1.4 million people, there was an increase in then started to participate in sport. So there were only 15.5 million people participating in daily exercise once a week. So every week Sport England would Sports England instantly concentrate on increasing the participation also for 14 to 25-year-old people, because as I know, I remember I read an article about it. Once people left high school, where it wasn't compulsory to participate in sport, in PE, as soon as it wasn't compulsory, the participation level went down, it decreased significantly. So in a way, Sports England and refugee football it does kind of link in a way, because they want to help people at foundation level and also people who have left high school to keep on playing, to urge them to keep on playing. And we're urging people, not just refugees but also UCLan students, to come down and play football. So there is a link in a way. So by 2017 they ought to achieve the following: invest around 500 million in 46 national governing bodies at sport to help them increase the life number of people to participate in sport. They offer every secondary school in England a community sports club on site with a direct link to one or more sports, help secondary schools upon their sports and facilities and for local communities, provide at least a further 150 educational colleges with full-time sport professionals, and it's like giving 3/4 of university students aged 18 to 24 a chance to take up a new sport or continue playing sport while they study, which is absolutely fantastic, because instead of looking at mainstream sports, you've got table tennis, you've got athletics, you've got even at UConn already they've got the dodgeball, they've got looking at they've got the badminton courts, the squash courts, so it's great because they're not just looking at just in the convenient sports, mainstream sports such as football and cricket and rugby. They're looking at everything from a big wider circle. Also to encourage 2,000 young people on the margins of society to take part in sport to help them gain new skills. So it's looking at working class people as well as middle class and upper class people. It's looking at people who've not really got a lot of facilities around their area, who are struggling to find a team or maybe can't afford the membership, to get them to coming down and play football free of charge, and also to maybe get some more qualifications to further themselves if they're not the greatest educational wise. Establish and enhancing England talent pathways in at least 30 sports to ensure young people to fulfil their potential, and so on and so on. So next slide. So now we're looking at it from within Preston, within the city. So Preston City Council Sports Forum have a number of aims that will help the entire sports sector within the city. They feel that the sports club haven't got enough memberships, so instead of people coming in dribs and drabs and say, like 2016, it's a new year, new me. They come in and do a couple of weeks of sessions and you don't see them for the rest of the year. It's basically we want people, instead of turning up and doing exercise every so often, we want a frequent basis where people come in every so often. So off the topic of participation, the Sports Forum would like to increase the number of coaches. So basically, if you're not really the greatest at sport, but you've got a definite urge, you've got a passion to coach kids, or people like say with learning difficulties, or adults, or maybe do sessions for the elderly, Preston Forum are providing coaches and officials and volunteers opportunities to get involved with that in a sport that they like, or maybe a sport they really want to get into. So staying on coaching, the City Council would also like to offer coaching education for upcoming coaches, giving them a chance to enhance the CV. So that could be maybe your Lindsay Award, maybe getting your level 1 volunteering award, maybe your FA level 1, maybe your level 1 futsal, so maybe your multi-skills, your mod 1s or your mod 2s, everything like that. So the benefits of being a member of the forum, it gives you and your club a voice, access grants from your club, athletes and coaches, receives regular emails with up-to-date information, meet members of sports clubs and organisations to share good practice, so getting them links, getting your reputation up, so then you get, so say if you're an up-and-coming coach and someone's like, oh, we'd like you to come and do a session for maybe £10 an hour, or maybe just help assist a session, it's just getting that foundation in to get your career up and get your CV enhanced, provides club development opportunities, and also, if you're not aware, Club Mark is a very high profile stature, so basically if your club or someone that you work at has got a Club Mark standard, it's got a Club Mark certificate, it means that your club is working at a very high level in terms of safety, participation, revenue, the happiness of the people who are there. So, linking to the placement, you may be wondering how Sport England and Preston City Council could possibly, in the slightest, link to my placement in refugee and Asylum Seekers football. Well, I talked about how it links in looking at everyone, and also with with Sport England and the refugees, and saying they're getting everyone involved. Well, this is why I believe it looks at equality. I believe you see a lot of, like, say, professional football clubs and Sports Club Elite, I think one of the main governing bodies, they look at just getting the professional athletes, giving them everything they want, helping them out. Well, Sports England, Preston City Council, I'm getting to helping out refugees. It's equality, it's helping everyone who needs help, who's got, it's like a friend in need in a way. I've seen, when I've been out in Preston, I've seen people, so the people that I've played football with, I've seen it was like, they remember my face, remember their face, That's what they need. They need people like that who they can bump into on the street and they say, "Hi, how you doing?" You need someone like that, and that's why these all link, Preston City Council, Sports England and Get Into all link in the sense of equality, because they help everyone. No matter who you are, they don't even know you, whether you've done something wrong, whether you've got a lot of money, whether you've not got a lot of money, whether you've got friends or you haven't got friends. They help everyone, and that's why equality is the biggest thing that I've looked at since starting this placement. So sustainability, well, as I said, myself and Jake are currently helping out. We're trying to get our hours up, we're basically just trying to help out and promote ourselves and help our unicorns. However, Joe and Sana, who are currently the main people who are running it, absolutely fantastic people, but unfortunately they are going to be graduating soon, so it's all about, in a way, promoting it to get people involved, but also getting volunteers so they think, yes, I want to come and help out. So obviously myself and Jake are there we're at uni for another year, so I would have no issues, and I don't think Jake would in taking up the reins and for running it every Tuesday. But with that being said, when we leave, is someone going to be as enthusiastic as us and want to do it the year after and the year after that? And then it's basically, we want to also build a chain where we've got people who are willing to work every single year, and it also, because we want to keep it running, because the people who are playing there on the Tuesdays and doing the tournaments are absolutely fantastic people. They've not got a bad bone in the body, and we want them to continue to play football and exercise and stay fit. So to conclude this presentation, my placement is working for a scheme within the SU called Get Into, where I should be helping to promote a project called Refugee Football. So by the time this placement is over, hopefully I'll have promoted the project sufficiently by increasing participation levels from all over the university and all over the city, which should increase its reputation. More importantly, everything that I'll be doing will be to help the refugees become more and more settled within our society. In addition, frequently coming to Yukon Sports Arena and on a Tuesday night and enjoying themselves. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed yourself.
Brilliant. Just got a couple of questions, really. So you mentioned limitations about halfway through. What would you say is like the main